Someone is paying a huge price for hurting you. You don't need to look over your shoulder or wonder who I am. I have been beside you longer than you've had a name, long before you felt your first ache, long before anyone spoke your first praise or your first curse. I am the one you have felt in quiet moments, the presence that brushes against you in stillness, the warmth that rises on your skin when you should have felt alone. I am the guardian assigned to you, the one who has watched every step you've taken in this world and the one who refuses to leave, no matter how dark the room or how hollow the silence becomes. And I am speaking to you now because you asked, perhaps not with your lips, but somewhere deeper, in the place where your heart cries without sound. So hear me. Someone is paying a huge price for hurting you, but not in the way humans imagine punishment. No lightning, no fire, no blade. The price they pay is the truth of the universe returning to them what they created. What they cast out now comes back to them, and what they tried to strip from you, they now face the loss of within themselves. Not because you wished it, not because you asked for it, but because the order of existence is built on balance, and balance always finds its way home. And while the tides turn around them, I am here with you. You need to know what has been hidden from you for far too long. You need to hear the things you were always meant to know, the things you deserve to understand before others try to bury your worth beneath their own shadows. So I will speak, and you will listen, and together we will reclaim the pieces of you that were scattered. You were never meant to carry the weight of other people's wounds. You were never meant to be the vessel for their anger or the target for their cruelty. The pain you endured was not a consequence of your flaws. It was a reflection of the storms inside those who reached for you with unclean hands. The universe does not forget such things. You wonder, sometimes, if your suffering went unnoticed, if your tears evaporated before anyone could see them, if the nights you folded yourself into smallness were simply swallowed by the dark with no witness. But I saw them. I saw all of them. Every tear you thought dried unseen was counted. Every moment you thought you were weak was written into the record of your strength. Every crack in your voice was an evidence of survival. And every wound left on your spirit was marked, not to condemn you, but to justify the rise that is coming. You don't know how powerful you are yet. You think strength is the absence of trembling. You think resilience means never breaking. But the truth is that you are strong because you felt everything. You are resilient not because you stayed whole, but because you rebuilt yourself from pieces that others tried to scatter. You do not realize that every time you got back up, you altered the fabric of your destiny. And that is why I am here now. Because you are entering a season where your past tries to cling to your ankles like vines of shadow, and I will not let them pull you down. I will not allow the echoes of old wounds to shape your steps anymore. I will not let you believe that you were meant to be diminished. Let me speak plainly. You were hurt. Unfairly. Deeply. Repeatedly. And someone walked away without understanding the magnitude of the damage they caused. They mistook your silence for weakness. They mistook your forgiveness for acceptance. They mistook your compassion for permission. They mistook your softness for lack of power. They were wrong. The price they pay is the realization, slow, heavy, and inevitable, that the part of themselves they tried to crush in you was the part they needed most within themselves. And now they walk through corridors of their own making, searching for the light they extinguished. But this part is not about them. It never was. This is about you. You who survived storms you never deserved. You who kept a gentle heart in a world that tried to harden you. You who believed in people who were careless with your trust. You who stayed loyal in rooms where your name was spoken without honor. You who held hope even when your hands shook. I am telling you this because the time for shrinking has passed. You are allowed to outgrow the spaces that suffocated you. You are allowed to release the connections that drained you. You are allowed to demand reciprocity. You are allowed to seek rest. You are allowed to rebuild a life that feels like your own. You are allowed to want more than survival. And listen carefully. Because this is the part no one has ever told you. You do not need anyone's permission to heal. You do not need anyone's apology to rise. You do not need the past to become fair in order for the future to become bright. You do not need validation from those who failed to recognize you. You do not need the approval of the ones who overlooked you. You do not need closure from the ones who left you open and bleeding. What you need is the truth of who you are, and I will tell you that now. You are the kind of soul that unsettles the careless. You are the kind of heart that confuses the unkind. You are the kind of spirit that intimidates the insincere. You carry a depth that others cannot breathe in for long. You carry a light that exposes people's shadows. You carry an honesty that forces others to confront themselves. And some people hurt you not because you were weak, but because you were too strong in the places they were fragile. You have always been a mirror, reflecting truth where others wanted illusion. And mirrors are often punished for what they reveal. But do not let their fear of your reflection turn into your fear of your own power. You are awakening now. You are remembering now. You are rising now. And I am with you. I have walked behind you when you felt pushed. I have walked beside you when you felt alone. I have walked ahead of you when the path threatened to swallow you. I have watched over you when you slept, not because you were fragile, but because you were important. More important than you know. Let me tell you something else, something few humans ever understand. Your sensitivity is not a flaw, it is a superpower. Your empathy is not a burden, it is evidence of greatness. Your intuition is not imagination, it is communication. Your longing for something more is not foolish, it is memory. Memory of who you were before you came here. Memory of what your soul knew long before your body learned fear. You feel deeply because you are meant to. You see clearly because the world needs someone who can. You love fiercely because your soul was crafted that way. You hurt intensely because your heart refuses to become numb. This world has tried to change your nature, but it has failed. And it will continue to fail. Because you are not meant to be ordinary. You are not meant to be silent. You are not meant to be hidden. You are not meant to dim to make others comfortable. You are not meant to carry the blame for the wounds of others. You are not meant to shrink so someone else can feel tall. You are not meant to remain in places that no longer nourish you. You are meant to rise. And rising requires letting go. I know you still feel the sting of betrayal, the ache of abandonment, the echo of harsh words, the weight of disappointments, the ghost of memories that linger like shadows on your skin. I know you replay conversations in your mind, searching for the moment where everything shifted. I know you wonder if you were too much or not enough. I know you ask yourself if you misread the signs, if you gave too much, if you stayed too long. But hear me. You did not break the world you were trying to heal. You did not fail the people you were trying to love. You did not lose what was meant for you. You did not ruin what you tried to nurture. You did not deserve what you endured. Let me say that again, so it sinks into the parts of you still trembling. You did not deserve what you endured. And the universe knows it. And the balance is correcting itself. And those who hurt you are being confronted, not by your anger, not by your accusations, not by any weapon you could ever wield, but by their own conscience. It wakes them in the quiet hours. It sits beside them when the room is empty. It whispers in the spaces where your voice used to be. They feel it in the cold that lingers where your warmth once lived. They feel it in the echo of conversations that ended too soon. They feel it when they reach for something familiar and find only the shape of what they pushed away. The price they pay is not inflicted by you. It is carved out of their own choices. It is the slow, relentless realization that love was offered and refused, that gentleness was met with indifference, that loyalty was treated as disposable. The price they pay is the emptiness born from choices that lacked love. It is the silence where your laughter once filled the air. It is the absence where your steady presence used to anchor their days. It is the hollow space in photographs where you should still be standing. It is the unanswered message, the unreturned call, the moment they almost reach out and then remember they no longer have the right. The price they pay is the weight of accountability that settles on their chest when they finally understand what they destroyed. It is the memory of your eyes the last time they saw you trying. It is the way your voice cracked when you asked them to stay. It is the knowledge that they could have chosen differently and didn't. That knowledge becomes a stone they carry everywhere. They feel it when they try to sleep. They feel it when someone new smiles at them and they realize they no longer know how to receive kindness without suspicion. They feel it when they see someone else being cherished the way they failed to cherish you. This is not revenge. This is not punishment. This is balance. And balance, sweet soul, serves you too. Because while they walk with that quiet ache, something extraordinary is happening to you. The path ahead of you is opening, not dramatically with trumpets and thunder, but gently, like dawn creeping across still water. The universe has not forgotten you. It has been waiting. It has been gathering. It has been preparing the soil where you will plant new roots. The energy that was stolen from you, drop by drop, year after year, is being returned. Not all at once. Not in a flood that would overwhelm you. But slowly, steadily, like rain after a long drought. You feel it in small moments first, a sudden lightness in your chest, a dream that doesn't end in tears, a morning where you wake up and the first thought is not pain. Because now your soul is ready to expand without apology. You no longer have to make yourself small to fit into spaces that never deserved you. You no longer have to dim your light so others won't feel burned. You no longer have to apologize for needing, for wanting, for taking up room. The parts of you that were folded inward to protect them are beginning to unfurl. The parts of you that were silenced are finding their voice again. The parts of you that were told they were too much are discovering they were exactly enough all along. Because now the universe is aligning to give you what you were denied. Not as a reward for suffering, never that, but because you are ready. Because you have done the impossible work of surviving. Because you have carried more than any heart should have to carry and still found ways to be kind. Because you have protected your softness in a world that tried to harden you. Because you have kept believing in love even after it was used against you. The scales are tipping, not out of pity, but out of justice. What was taken is being restored. What was broken is being mended. What was lost is finding its way home. Because now your future begins to glow again. It starts as a faint shimmer on the horizon, almost too delicate to trust. But day by day, it grows brighter. You catch glimpses of it in the way children laugh without reservation. In the way strangers show unexpected kindness. In the way your own reflection starts to look less haunted. You feel it in your bones when music moves you again. When you catch yourself hoping without immediately bracing for disappointment. When you realize you can imagine tomorrow without dread. And I will walk with you into that light. I know you feel tired. I know you are worn thin by the years of carrying battles alone. I know there were nights you weren't sure you would make it to morning. I know there were days you smiled while something inside you was screaming. I know you learned to say, "I'm fine," in a voice that convinced everyone but yourself. I know you became an expert at holding yourself together with invisible thread. I know you are exhausted by the expectation that you must always be strong, always be understanding, always be the one who forgives first, who lets go first, who heals first. You are allowed to rest now. You are allowed to breathe. You are allowed to exhale the pain you have held for too long. Let it go. Let the breath you've been holding since the first time someone made you feel small finally leave your body. Let the tears you swallowed come if they need to. Let the anger you buried rise and burn itself out. Let the grief you carried alone finally have witnesses. You do not have to do this part perfectly. You do not have to be graceful in your unraveling. You are allowed to be messy. You are allowed to be human. You are allowed to need. Let me give you peace now. Close your eyes, not physically, but spiritually. Let the noise fall away. Let the memories that bruise your heart settle into quiet. Not erased, never erased. But laid down gently, like pressing flowers between pages. They will still be there, but they will no longer cut you when you touch them. Let the expectations of others slide off your shoulders like water. Let the weight of old fears loosen its grip, finger by finger, until it falls away entirely. In this moment, it is only you and me. You are safe here. You are seen, truly seen, down to the parts you've hidden from everyone, even yourself. You are understood in ways no human language could ever capture. You are held, not with hands that might let go, but with a presence that has cradled you through every dark night you thought would never end. You think you are alone because humans have failed you. They have. Some of them spectacularly. Some of them slowly, through 1,000 small betrayals that added up to abandonment. Some of them with cruelty that still shocks you when you remember. Some of them with indifference that hurt worse than anger ever could. But their failures are not the measure of your worth. Their inability to love you properly does not mean you are unlovable. I have never left you. Not once. Not when you were screaming into pillows. Not when you were pretending everything was fine. Not when you stopped believing in anything good. Not when you hated yourself for still caring. I was there in the tiny kindnesses you barely noticed. In the song that came on exactly when you needed it. In the stranger who smiled at you on the worst day. In the way your pet pressed against you when you cried. In the breath that kept coming even when you wished it wouldn't. You think you are unloved because some people chose cruelty over you. But my love for you has never flickered. It is not conditional on your performance. It is not diminished by your mistakes. It is not withdrawn when you're difficult or broken or raging or silent. It is the one constant you have never lost, even when you couldn't feel it. It has been holding you together when you were sure you were falling apart forever. You think you are lost because your path became so dark you couldn't see 2 steps ahead. But I have been lighting the ground beneath your feet with every step. Sometimes it was only enough light for the next breath, the next heartbeat, the next moment of choosing to stay. That was enough. You took those steps. You kept walking when everything in you wanted to lie down and quit. That is not weakness. That is the kind of strength legends are made of. You are not alone. You have never been alone. You will never be alone. You do not need to earn my presence. You never did. You do not need to justify your worth with achievements or perfection or self-sacrifice. You do not need to prove your strength by never breaking. You do not need to pretend you are unshaken when earthquakes have been moving through you for years. You can tremble. Your hands can shake. Your voice can crack. You can cry the kind of tears that come from places deeper than words. You can fall apart completely. You can lie on the floor and feel like you'll never get up again. Nothing you do will drive me away. You are more precious than you realize. Not because of what you've done or what you look like or what you've survived, though all of those things are miraculous. You are precious because you exist. Because the same hands that hung stars shaped you with infinite care. Because your soul carries light that has never been duplicated in all of creation. Because every time you chose kindness when you've been shown none, you shifted the entire cosmos toward healing. And your story is not ending, it is beginning. There are chapters ahead of you that will make the pain of these years feel like the necessary dark before dawn. There are mornings coming where you will wake up and realize you slept without nightmares. There are evenings where you will sit with people who see you, all of you, and love you anyway. There are moments waiting where laughter will rise so easily in your throat it will surprise you with its freedom. There are hands that will reach for yours without hesitation. There are voices that will say your name like a blessing. There are hearts that will choose you day after day, not because you're perfect, but because being near you feels like home to them. There are conversations that will go deep into the night and leave you feeling fuller instead of emptied. There are quiet moments of understanding so profound they will heal wounds you thought would ache forever. There are opportunities ready to unfold that will lift you into the life you have longed for. Not the life you settled for, not the life you were told you should want, but the one that makes your soul sing. There are places waiting to welcome you where you will not have to explain your past or apologize for your needs. There are creations inside you desperate to be born, art, words, love, healing, beauty, that will flow when the dam finally breaks. There are blessings stored with your name carved into them so deeply that nothing can erase it. Not your mistakes. Not your scars. Not the years you spent believing you were forgotten. They have been waiting patiently, gathering power, growing more beautiful in the delay. They are coming. Some have already begun arriving in ways you might not yet recognize. And none of them will require you to suffer first. You have paid enough. You have endured more than enough. You have learned lessons that broke your heart open to hold more love than you thought possible. You have risen from wounds that should have killed you. You have kept your heart soft in a world that did everything to harden it. That is not failure. That is victory wearing the clothes of survival. Now the light returns to you. Not because you earned it through perfect faith or flawless healing, but because it was always yours. It was just waiting for you to be ready to carry it again. And I will continue speaking to you, not always in words, but in signs that make you catch your breath. In synchronicities that feel too precise to be coincidence. In intuitive nudges that guide you exactly where you need to be. In sudden clarity that washes over you like clean water. In unexpected comfort that arrives right when you're sure you can't take another step. In the soft warmth that settles on your shoulders when you thought no one noticed your pain. You will see me in the way the light hits the leaves exactly when you need beauty. In the song that plays when your heart is breaking. In the book that falls open to the perfect page. In the animal that approaches you gently when you feel most untouchable. In the dream that leaves you waking with peace you can't explain. I am here. And I am not leaving. Now breathe. Let the air fill your lungs completely for the first time in years. Let it move through you like forgiveness. Let it carry out the dust of old battles. Let it remind you that you are alive, and that being alive is a miracle, and that miracles are still possible for you. Let yourself come back into your body. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your heart beating. Feel the blood moving through your veins carrying new possibilities. Feel the weight of your body held by a world that is gentler than it sometimes seems. Let the truth settle in your heart, you are loved beyond measure. You are wanted beyond reason. You are becoming who you were always meant to be, and the process, though painful, has been sacred. Let the heaviness start to release. Not all at once. Some of it has been with you so long it will take time to lay down completely. But let it begin. Let one brick fall today. Let one chain loosen. Let one old story lose its grip. Let the path ahead begin to brighten. You don't have to see the whole way yet. Just the next step. And then the next. I will light them as you need them. You are safe. The kind of safe that doesn't depend on locked doors or perfect circumstances, but on a love that has already defeated everything that tried to destroy you. You are protected. Not from all pain, some pain still has things to teach you, but from being lost forever. From being broken beyond repair. From being left behind. You are guided. Every step you take is seen. Every tear is counted. Every quiet act of courage is celebrated in realms you cannot yet see. You are loved. Not in the future when you're healed. Not conditionally when you get it right. But now. Exactly as you are. With your messy heart and your tender wounds and your incredible resilience. And the balance is shifting in your favor. Not because life is fair, it isn't always, but because you have honored your soul through circumstances that would have justified bitterness. Because you have kept choosing love when hate would have been easier. Because you have protected your light when darkness was all you could see. I am not finished with you. There is so much more beauty to unfold. So much more joy to discover. So many more ways I want to show you how cherished you are. Your story is not finished with you. There are plot twists coming that will take your breath away. There are characters waiting to enter who will love you in ways that heal old hurts without even trying. There are settings you haven't imagined where you will finally feel like you belong. Your destiny is not finished with you. It has been waiting patiently while you learned what you needed to learn, while you shed what no longer served, while you gathered strength you didn't know you had. You are stepping into the life you were always meant to claim. Not a life without pain. Pain is part of being human, but a life where pain no longer has the final word. A life where joy gets to be louder. Where love gets to stay. Where you get to be fully yourself and fully received. And I will walk every step with you. Through the mornings when you wake up unsure. Through the afternoons when old memories ambush you. Through the nights when fear whispers lies. Through every ordinary, miraculous day of becoming. I was there when you were born. I was there through every moment that broke you. I was there when you thought you were most alone. And I will be there when you dance in the life that is waiting, when you laugh without covering your mouth, when you love without holding your breath, when you finally believe you deserve every good thing coming your way. You have always been mine. You have always been enough. You have always been becoming. And now, beloved, the becoming gets to be beautiful. Breathe. Rest. Rise. The light is yours again. And this time, nothing can take it from you.